Good morning, and thank you for this opportunity. On behalf of LHCb collaboration, I will be talking about the standalone track reconstruction and matching algorithm for GPU-based HLT at HLT1 at LHCb. Since we have been particularly paying attention to the previous LHCb talks in the last 2 days, I will not go through the details of the detector here, but our run 3 upgrade of the detector have been very nicely summarized in the aptly titled Sun Courier article calling it the LHCb's momentous metamorphosis, wherein we have basically a new detector for run 3 with most of the components replaced, and the only few are kept from the previous run. And we are calling it only the upgrade 1 while keeping the same name. We have seen the data flow diagram in the different talks before, and here I'm going to focus on the algorithms which reside here at the HLT1 level, where we perform partial detector reconstruction and selection using the GPUs. So since we are talking about tracking algorithms, this is the schematic of our tracking system, wherein we have vertex locator, which is a silicon pixel detector with 52 planes, and we produce value tracks here. Then we have UT, which is a silicon strip detector with the 4 planes. And matching the value tracks with the UT hits, we create the UT tracks. This is not going to be online for the first year of data taking, as discussed in the previous LHCb talk by Alessandro. We have then the scintillating fiber detector with very interesting geometry, wherein which is placed downstream of the magnet, and extending the velo and UT tracks to SciFi, we can produce long tracks from the forward matching algorithms, which are very important for our physics analysis. Now we can also create standalone seeds from the SciFi hits alone at the HLT1 level itself, which can be useful in various different ways, such as you can match these SciFi seeds with the velo to create the long tracks, which can be an alternative and viable alternative to the baseline forward tracking. So this is what we have done, and in this talk, I'm going to talk about 2 new algorithms at HLT1 level. One is the standalone SciFi seeding, and the second is the track matching to create the long tracks. In addition, as it is done at the HLT2 level, now we can match these SciFi seeds with the UT hits to produce downstream tracks. Also, this can be useful for the PID, plus, as discussed by Isaac in his yesterday's talk, the SciFi tracks are also very useful for many different physics use cases and studies, which are now available at the HLT1 level. So in the SciFi seeding algorithm is organized in 2 iterations, 2 cases, mainly for varying initial layers. And the 2 main components of the algorithm are creating the seeding XZ, which creates the SciFi seeds in the XZ layers, and then these seeds are confirmed by adding the UV hits in the seeding confirm track part of the algorithm, thus giving us the SciFi hits. In this illustration, how the geometry of these layers is cleverly organized so that we get the Y information by this 5-degree rotation of the UV layers is shown. So going to the details of the algorithm itself, the SciFi hits, first we create the doublets, we search the doublets in T1 and the T3 layers, assuming the track originated at the 000 with momentum greater than 3 GeV. And for each doublet, we already have now the charge momentum estimation, which allows us to narrow the window in the third hit, in the third layer for the third hit. And these 3 hit combinations are created taking the banding into the account, which is calculated using the parameterization. Plus the parabola fitted with the cubic corrections estimation on the MC is used for predicting the positions of the hits in the remaining layers, which allows us to minimize our search windows in the remaining layers. Then we add the remaining hits, except the candidates with at least 2 additional hits from the remaining layers. That is minimum 5 out of the 6 possible hits. With that, we build a 3x3 matrix for the track fit with all the contributing hits, keep the candidates with the best chi-square, and that's how we have the seed XZ candidates. Then these seed XZ candidates, we still need to remove a lot of ghosts, which is around 50 to 60% from the XZ segments, and need to measure the parameters of the track. So then we add the UV hits, which are from the remaining UV layers, wherein for each XZ segment, we open a very large tolerance window in the Y for the initial UV layers. Many different fibers, they cross a given hypothesis. And for each fiber that crosses that particular hypothesis and at Y, we get the position of the Y and the Y measurement. For all the hits collected in that particular window, we determine the corresponding Y and the tolerance for the Y, thus allowing us to open much narrower tolerance windows for the next hit and optimizing our tolerance windows for the next searches. Therein, we accept the tracks with at least 4 hits in the UV, and we fit the candidates and keep the best chi-square ones, fitting them with the linear model in the Y. So this is our, that's how we have the seeding, SciFi seeding done. I'm going to talk about the performance of it later in the later slides. But first, then coming how these SciFi seeds are matched with the Velo tracks. We have another algorithm which matches these Velo tracks with the SciFi seeds to create the long tracks, wherein we start with the SciFi seeds, and this algorithm is parallelized over the SciFi seeds, wherein in the X and Z, the Velo and the SciFi both are extrapolated to at the center of the magnetic field in a straight line, wherein the magnetic field and the banding is parameterized using the simulations, and this kink approximation is carried out to create on that particular plane in the magnetic line. There we impose then after creating the track, we impose the chi-square and the slope constraints to reduce the combinatorics and the fakes. And afterwards, we have a clone killing where the 2 tracks, for example, if multiple tracks are sharing a common Velo tracks, are compared, and only the best chi-square one is kept. And we have our long tracks with this matching. Some features of these 2 algorithms, how they have been implemented in the GPU, we have an Allen framework which provides us the event level parallelization from the framework. Then what we have done also is we have minimized the global memory usage by using the shared memory of the GPU, which is much faster as compared to the global memory, and carried out some studies, and we have seen that the binary search algorithms are much faster if we are able to use the shared memory. For each XZ track, we in parallel, we collect the UV hits in 2 different layers. We have optimized binary search implementation for making the pair candidates from the hits. We also optimize our block size based on the production GPU A5000 from NVIDIA, which we are going to use in the run 3. And then we have, as compared, as compared to the HLT2, we have where we have the similar algorithms. We have on the CPUs. We have also simplified the approach in the confirm track part, wherein we add the UB information. Therein, for clone killing using the shared memory, voting algorithm is deployed, and based on a certain computation of the chi-square, we make the decision of keeping or rejecting the tracks. So these are some of the silent features of our algorithms, which have allowed us to have the performance out of it in order to be placing it at the HLT1 level. In terms of efficiencies, for long tracks with the BDKs for greater than 5 GB, we have about 92% of efficiency, which is very much in our acceptable limits. And in fact, it is slightly better for higher PTs as compared to the baseline. There are plenty of other performance plots which I have placed in the backup. If you are interested, you can have a look. We have very manageable ghost rates with up to about 9% for all the reconstructed tracks and about 5% for the P greater than 3 JV. In terms of the throughput performance, what we have is similar throughput performance as to the baseline, keeping in mind that now in this particular sequence, we don't have to run the forward algorithm. We are still able to create the long tracks using the matching algorithm. And that gives us some headroom for keeping the throughput almost similar as it is compared here in this throughput plot with the red here is with the forward with the UT, and the hybrid CD plus matching is without UT. So it's not basically a one-on-one comparison. In terms of the breakdown of the SciFi seeding and decoding plus the Velo decoding and the tracking, these are the major two parts where the SciFi seeding plus decoding is about 45% of the total run, and matching algorithm is comparatively very light, and then there are many other algorithms which run in our HLT1. And so just to summarize, I have presented here a new GPU-based scintillating 5-hour seeding algorithm for the HLT1 at LHCb. This is an alternative to the long track reconstruction based on SciFi seeds plus Velo track matching. We have comparable throughputs with the forward with UT, similar efficiencies at the high momentum without any hard cut at low PT. And now we have the SciFi seeds in the HLT1, which are basic building blocks for the downstream tracking with very interesting physics use cases for many of our analysis. So this is my summary, and thank you very much. Are you still hearing me?
Yes, we are. Did you? Oh,
perfect.
Actually, yes.
Thank you.
I'm looking into the room. Questions? Very keen on going to lunch. Questions from Zoom. Let me see if anyone has posted them. No. We have an important comment. All right, let's thank Bridge again, and
thank you.